Welcome back to the Lone Star Showdown, and we are going to talk about teams that play no offense, as that is the theme of the week. So, Kyle, how was your weekend?
Oh man, it was horrible. Probably the worst game, I guess, under Sark, I would say, because we came into that game hyped, ranked 18th, just put away Kansas State the week before, who I thought was probably tougher than TCU. You know, TCU keeps escaping all these teams and getting these breaks and stuff, and I was like, TCU sucks. We're gonna beat them. We got College Gameday showing up. Like 30 recruits are at the game. Sold out. Big deal. Set the second most watched game at DKR record. Um, and we put up 3 points of offense.
And y'all didn't get any commits, did y'all?
Not a single commit.
Oh, that's
And what chance? Would you have thought this score would be 3-0 at halftime?
I mean, I can't really talk about what I thought the score would be because there was only a 4-point difference in my score and your score. It was 7-0 at halftime for me, and we were playing an Auburn team without a head coach.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess it could be worse. I guess you're saying it could be worse.
it can be a lot worse.
Okay. Anyway, I'm just really pissed off because Quinn looked crappy. The receivers were dropping left and right, which reflects on Quinn too. Like his numbers were, ugh, like A&M worthy.
I mean,
It was
Haynes,
bad.
Haynes King has a better completion percentage than Quinn does right now.
Okay, don't you ever tweet that.
I'm just telling you.
um, and yeah, Sark is like the offensive guru. It makes zero sense what happened. It's like the players went to a strip club the night before and showed up wasted. It hung over. It makes no sense. The offense looked horrible. Bijan kept getting stuffed. Worthy, best receiver I think in the nation. He's dropping pass after pass. The Quinn's just overthrowing, underthrowing, throwing it to the ground, throwing it not on the right route. Like it just you name it. That's what happened on offense. It was bad. I knew at halftime I was like, I don't know if we're gonna score because we're a first half team first of all. So if we have 0 points and we're better on offense than defense, we're screwed. So I don't know what happened. Don't know what to say. Don't know how to explain it.
Should get you a shirt that says Texas is not back.
I'm wearing this ironically, Chance.
I know, but it'd be cool to have one that like you could just switch back and forth. You'd be like, when it
yeah,
happens.
like take it off and turn it inside out, and it's
Yeah,
when I
exactly. Yeah,
lose.
for sure. Yeah, and then so like Texas is not back, but whenever it happens, you're just like, yeah, I can finally do it again.
I got this shirt to be funny, and then I find myself always wearing it like after a loss. I'm just like, damn it.
No, I love it. Steering to the skid. Yeah, I man, that game was rough to watch because I switched back and forth between the A&M game and the Texas game because sometimes it got really rough to watch the A&M game.
Yeah.
But I also want to watch TCU's offense because I'm a little invested.
Oh yeah.
They actually didn't play very well. It seemed like Texas had a pretty good defensive day.
Yeah.
But man, like you got to find it like demoralizing to know that like I also want to touch on one thing later, but like it's got to be demoralizing to like have a top 4 team in your house, and this would have been your first top 5 win at home since 1999, and it just doesn't happen. Like you can't generate offense underneath the guy who's supposed to generate offense, and.
Right.
I can't remember who I was listening to, but they said like Sark is the best game plan or play designer in college football. I think it was Kirk Herbstreit that said it. Best play designer in college football. He didn't say best play caller in college football.
Right.
But I mean,
Exactly.
you got to give the guy credit. Like he does put up some great offenses. Last year's offense, is this too big of a stretch for me to say that last year's offense was better than this year's offense?
No, I know we scored a bunch more.
I mean,
Casey Thompson was just he always had a bunch of yards, win or loss.
And at
So
this point, like you're seeing Texas fans start tweeting like, "Is Hudson Card better than Quinn Ewers?" Like this isn't even coming from A&M fans. I have seen Texas fans tweet this that
yes, I am aware. I am aware.
that that Hudson Card may be better than Quinn Ewers, and that's kind of like disturbing because like I I mean I don't know what to tell you.
Chance is speechless.
I am pure speechless because I thought, I mean, after watching the Bama game, I was like, man, Quinn Ewers is the dude. Like
Right? Yeah.
they got a quarterback. Like they're Texas is gonna have a good offensive year. And then he got hurt, but when he came back, and then I mean, of course, we didn't know it at the time. He puts up numbers against Oklahoma's god
Right.
awful defense. Shocking that they hired a defensive coach and they can't play defense. But he runs roughshod over Oklahoma, and you're like, see, if Quinn Ewers was playing, they probably beat Tech. They maybe make the Alabama game a game, or it was already a game, but like they
Right.
may win that. And now you're sitting here looking, and you're like, after Oklahoma State,
Yeah.
after
Yeah. Yeah.
after
You're like
TCU,
Oklahoma State. 3 points in the second half.
after TCU, after the offense disappeared in the second half versus Kansas State. Y'all played a great first half, but that seems to be like Sark's MO at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, is he the guy still? Like, is Quinn
Yeah.
Ewers?
He's a freshman. He's played 6 games in his entire career. He's making freshman mistakes.
Yeah, no, of course.
I think he'll get better, and just in. I mean, I guess I can't say this anymore, but back in like the Bama game, and when Carter came back out, I was like, oh, now I can see the difference of why Ewers was starting, because the obviously just didn't jive with him. But now you're seeing that happen to Quinn. It's like, I mean, yeah, I guess if you look at like stats and stuff, it's like, oh well, technically, if
they're very
Card,
comparable.
yeah, if Card had been playing, he probably would have the exact same numbers. But
yeah, I think Card has a better completion percentage, and his yardage total per game is higher.
yeah,
But the interceptions and touchdowns, I mean, Quinn has like 13 touchdowns and 6
Yeah.
interceptions, which is good for a guy who's in his first year. Like, he's not eclipsing 10 interceptions, that's not bad.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you want to see those completion numbers go way up higher.
I know he's had 2 games. No, not 2 games. Sorry, 3 games or 2 games out of 3 where he just looked like this. You're like, who is this guy? This is not the guy who played against Bama and Oklahoma, or the first half of Kansas State.
And I think this is a big curse of like the recruiting service world that we live in now. Like Quinn Ewers comes in. I mean, being a 5-star is being a 5-star. Like
Right.
there's a bunch of 5-stars that come out. Like just in his class, you had Connor Wegman in his original class. You had Connor Wegman. You had who's the kid
Clemson
for
guy.
Clemson?
Oh yeah, Cube.
Cade Klubnik.
Yeah, Club.
And then you had Ewers, and then I may be missing 1 or 2 more. But Ewers was supposed to be,
Right.
The top floor. Like he was supposed to be the best, and he was like he's the first quarterback ranked a perfect 100 since Vince Young, I believe. Like, how do you fill those shoes? And that goes into like our criticism of him,
Right,
and
right.
it definitely goes into my criticism of him because it's like, you were supposed to be one of the greatest kids to come out of the recruiting rankings era ever. And it's just hard to live up to those standards.
Yeah. That's not good.
No, but he's playing fine. He's not like terrible. I mean,
against TCU, I would say terrible.
Yeah. He was terrible in a game. I'm saying like as a
yeah,
total picture.
yeah.
He's not bad.
Right.
But I do think you have an issue coming up, though. I do think Texas faces a huge issue.
We are not starting Arch over him. If that's what you're going to say.
I mean,
no.
That's going to be.
That's what the fans want, and he'll make the same kind of freshman mistakes, and then people are so, well, he's not good.
We're going to spend all summer talking about it.
I know
it's going to happen.
It's already in the making. Yeah,
I've already heard other people say the best quarterback in the building Saturday night that was wearing UT colors was in sweatpants.
Yeah, that's funny. Well,
Was it?
but then uh it doesn't even matter because I think Arch should and will most likely redshirt first season, play some snaps, keep his red shirt, and then Quinn will probably be gone to transfer, or if he has a great year next year, maybe NFL. Who knows? So I think then Arch will definitely be leading probably 2024.
I don't think
I would
it. I
say.
mean, red shirt doesn't even matter anymore. Like we
Oh
do.
yeah, yeah. If you're good, you'll be gone in 2 years
Yeah,
anyway.
we live in a world where it doesn't
Yeah.
even matter. Like you're gone in 2 years anyway. I don't know. I don't. It's hard to say because like Quinn Ewers is draft eligible next year. The plan was Quinn Ewers plays quarterback next year and then is gone to the NFL. He's going to have to make a considerable jump
I
to
know.
be. I mean, you can join the. You can go put your name in the draft whenever you want to, but they're not going to tell you to put your name in the draft if you look
Right.
like this, or even. I mean, you're going to have to take a considerable jump from where you're at right now to where he's at. He's throwing 55.2%, I think, right now. That's not going to work in the NFL. Like that,
Nope.
it just won't work. Like that, you're gonna have to take a considerable jump from that. That's gonna have to get up to like maybe the 70s, if you were to
Yeah.
start really looking into the draft, especially for a guy who doesn't use his legs.
Yeah. He's not a runner.
No, he's not. Like I mean, he's not. I mean, I don't even think he's Patrick Mahomes when it comes to running. He's a pocket passer. He's maybe Trevor Lawrence. I think that's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comp.
I'll take that.
Yeah, good arm, long hair. I mean, they're blonde. I don't know.
That's awesome.
But I mean, Trevor Lawrence was never fleet of foot, but yeah, you got to see some improvement, and like I don't know, like it's hard to say. Sit there, you're gonna have to sit there and let Arch wait behind Quinn Ewers for a year because you don't even know if Quinn Ewers is going to need
Right.
2 years. Because if
Right.
he needs 2 years, you're not going to have Arch sitting there for 2 years.
Yeah.
We live in the transfer portal era, and I mean it's happening to Texas right now too. I'm finally glad that all the pressure isn't on A&M because the talk of Texas transfer portal is also picking up, and
It
it's
happens
just talk.
every year. Yeah.
It's just talk. I mean,
Yeah.
like I've heard no players are leaving A&M, and I've heard half of our players are leaving. Like it's just like
I know.
there's some middle ground, and then there's some leeway, like
Yeah.
but I mean. To the victor go the spoils, I guess. I don't know. Like I don't.
Yeah. I'm just worried about beating Kansas. That's all I really care about right now. So
Yeah. But see,
let's hope if he can beat Kansas, he's got a good shot at improving next year. But if he pulls a TCU game again, ugh,
I mean, the best thing that Texas has right now is that y'all have improved from last year for sure. Like that is,
and Kansas has improved by like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Texas as a whole has like,
oh yeah,
to this point has improved from where they were last year to now.
Right. I got you.
My team, however, has not improved. They have got considerably worse. So much so that I could go on like a 30-minute rant.
It's like looking in like a 1 year ago mirror. This was me last year. Like I could just, if I wanted to, just go off on how messed up it is that they're 5-7 or whatever.
Yeah, but it's opposite. Like I have dude, Texas A&M generated -7 yards in the third quarter. -7. I swore to myself. I was like,
and they don't have a head coach.
And they don't have a head coach. Yeah, Auburn doesn't have a head coach.
Yeah, and I saw someone put the salaries up against. He's making like $400,000 compared to Jimbo. That's awesome.
I just like, how does the offensive coach generate -7 yards in a quarter? Like, I truly think I could take Brownwood High School's offensive playbook and I could generate more than -7 yards on that offense. Like
Right.
I just don't get it. Like it doesn't make sense. Like I swore to myself, I was like, I swear to God, if I like put on my phone, like because I watch the press conference after every game. You know, like if I'm available, if I'm at
Oh,
home just watching the game, like
what did Jimbo say?
I don't know. I mean, well, I know what he said, but
Oh,
like,
okay.
like I swore to myself, like I was like, if he says we just need to execute, I'll throw my phone out the freaking window because
Maybe that's why your TV was broke. He said it, and you threw something, and you didn't remember
I
doing
just
that.
blacked out,
Yeah.
and then my TV broke like 3 days later. And for y'all who don't know, I bought a new TV yesterday because I came home and my TV was like literally half the screen was red and the other half was regular, and it was just fried. So, um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. There's no explanation for it. Like, how does an offensive coach, literally, like the guy who was supposed to be one of the, I think in like 2 years ago before the season, they were like, who are the greatest offensive minds in college football? And Jimbo Fisher was like in the top five. And like the guy can't generate positive yardage in the third quarter. Like it
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, Connor can't get a pass off because the offensive line sucks and three starters are hurt. I get it. And um, Moose Muhammad is obviously is on the bench the whole game, and the commentators are like, "Why isn't he in the game?" And nobody knows. Then he tweets out, "It's because sleeves." Like,
Sleeves.
yeah, it's because of sleeves. And then Devon A. Chain's hurt, and but you know what? Like, I'm so sick of the excuse. Like, and I've used the excuse, but I'm sick of it. Like, we're young. Like, you've been here for 5 years, bro. I don't care if you have to start your freshman. Like, you shouldn't be at this point. Like, it, I get you recruited the number one class of all time, but like, you had three classes prior to that were all in the top 10. Like,
Yeah.
we can't generate anything, like, nothing. It's just nerve wracking. Like I don't want to fire Jimbo or anything. Like I'm not going to sit here and call for his head. I do think he needs to hire an offensive coordinator, and I think that's very much on the way.
Right.
I think Monday, probably after the LSU game, A&M probably will have announced who their
Yep.
offensive coordinator is, or who know who it is, and he's
Right.
probably coaching in a bowl game, which A&M won't be because we lost. So yeah, oh yeah, I forgot to touch on that point. A&M is no longer eligible for a bowl game for the first time since like 2008, um,
Oh
because
man.
Jimbo Fisher couldn't beat a interim coach Cadillac Williams,
Oh man.
who
Love
who
it.
was held to 13 points. That this is the shit that aggravates me so much. In five of A&M's 7 losses, and five of them, the defense has held the offense to 28 points or less. 28 points or less. That means you only need to score one touchdown per quarter and you at least tie the team who beat you by the most. And that was Mississippi State.
Right.
And for those of you who are going to go in and check and be like, well, Mississippi State actually scored 42 points. Well, that's because Haynes King threw a pick six, and then there was a offsides guy on a blocked field goal that was taken back for a touchdown. The defense only gave up 28 points. The defense only
Gotcha.
gave up 24 points against Bama. The defense only gave up 17 points versus App State. They only gave up 31 versus Ole Miss. I didn't count Ole Miss in that 28. I'm trying to think of the other two teams that we held under 28. Oh, it was Auburn, who we held to 13 and for some reason couldn't
Yeah.
beat. And South Carolina. South Carolina was the other one because there was a kick. The opening
Kickoff.
kickoff was taken
Yeah.
back. And then I still can't blame the defense for the 17 points that were scored initially in that one because Haynes King almost threw a pick six that went to the 5-yard line. Like, okay,
Right.
good luck, defense. Stop the offense on the 5. And then a fumble that went off Haynes King's knee went all the way down to like the red zone too. So it's like, yeah, no shit. The defense gave up. They gave up 10 points. Luckily, like they
Right.
held them to a field goal on one of those. But it's like, where's the offense? Like, like it is truly just agonizing to watch. It's I have no words for it. Like
Mhm.
I understand what Texas fans probably felt last year when they were like, well, Sark's able to score all these damn points, but the defense can't hold up freaking Kansas below 50, like,
Right.
and then,
Oh yeah, it's kind of like the opposite problem.
no, it is.
Yeah.
And that's where I find the likeness. Like, we literally have the opposite problem.
Yeah.
But y'all didn't have to go, or, well, y'all went and got Gary Patterson. It seems like he's had a huge hand in helping the defense.
Yeah. The defense I thought and hoped would improve some over the offseason, and it did. So yeah, they're on target with where I think they should be. So
Yeah, and I'm
can't
not going to
complain.
sit here. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that DJ Durkin's perfect because he let up like 42 points versus Florida. Of course, we did turn over the ball when it was like 35-21, I think, and then it was an easy touchdown there at the end. But regardless,
Right.
Florida manhandled them, and then even when A&M did generate 4 touchdowns in a game against Old Miss, they let Old Miss run for like 400 yards on them. So I mean, give and take. But I mean,
Right.
in 5 games you couldn't score. In 5 games you held teams to 28 or less, and you couldn't generate enough offense to beat them. And some of those games were 13 points, which Ole Miss beat you by 30. Like literally, like I
Yeah.
can't fathom. I looked at the scoreboard this weekend, and I was like, A&M lost 13-10. They couldn't generate enough offense to score more than 13 points.
Man.
Or was it 17-10? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Whatever. It wasn't a lot of points. It wasn't. It wasn't a lot of points, man. It just was. They didn't have to do a lot to win that game.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't. Jimbo can't sit here and look at me anymore and sit there and be like, well, they just need to execute, or this, that, and the other. No, it's your fucking offense. Your offense stinks. Sorry for pardon my French, but your offense is shit. And other people have been telling me this for years, I guess. I mean, it worked fine under Kellen Mond, but maybe Kellen Mond was like the master of Jimbo's offense. It just made sense to him, like he's the.
I guess I mean he did do really well under Jimbo, so I would
What's
say
that?
he liked that offense style.
He was the Stephen Hawking of Jimbo's offense, like.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It just it's time for Jimbo to give up the playbook. Like,
Right.
This is it, Jimbo. Like, this is your chance to be the Brian Kelly of. So in year 6, Brian Kelly went 4-8 and went and had a come to Jesus meeting with his athletic director, fired his offensive coordinator, fired his defensive coordinator, hired a brand new player personnel person, hired a new quarterbacks coach, like went and like redid his whole, and they went 10-3 the next year.
Yeah.
Because at Notre Dame you can do that because you have the money, you have all the backing that you need. You have the recruits, and you have all that at A&M too. Like you can
Right.
write this ship. It's just up to you to do it. Now there's no more important date for Texas A&M than the day after the LSU game, or maybe even the night of, because the moment that game's over, you need to secure every single player that you can, and then go get you. Hopefully, they've already started on the offensive hiring process.
They have to have, just for that exact reason of making sure the team knows that there's something to stay for.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let y'all know I'm not gonna talk about UMass because like A&M should beat the shit out of UMass and it shouldn't even matter.
Right.
But like the most important thing for A&M right now is secure an offensive coordinator, and if you haven't already started doing it, they better damn well start doing it because they need one to be secured like the day after LSU.
Right.
If not, like be in the process of literally being able to tell all your players, no, this guy, we're either getting this guy or this guy, and I'm hoping it's either Garrett Riley or Jeff Grimes or Philip Longo. Like you better damn well have a list, and you better have already like called all these people and start getting that shit together because you need to give your offensive guys. I'm not worried about defensive players that much because every single one of those guys have played.
Right.
And they're all in the rotation. Like it's all the A&M recruited like 8 defensive linemen, and they've all played this year. And then all the secondary guys have played because we've been battered and bruised in the secondary
Yeah.
too. The only position we didn't really recruit, or well, the one position we lost the best recruit to, I guess it seems, Harold Perkins went to LSU.
Oh
Um,
man.
yeah, yeah, it's got to suck for both of us because
Right. Yeah.
he was at Kansas for y'all last year,
Right.
and he was literally committed to us in the All American game, and then left in February. It, yeah, so yeah, that's where I'm at. So yeah,
Well, just it is. It's basically impossible for Texas A&M to lose to UMass. UMass is horrible. 1-9.
oh
They
no, if A&M loses to UMass,
they
Jimbo's fired. Bye.
obviously, but there's 0% chance. It's not. So
Oh yeah, no.
at least you can watch a game. Like where the offense is jiving and people are scoring, defense is getting strips and stuff. So that will be entertaining and that'll be fun for you.
Yeah, so yeah,
But
A&M will
but
generate some offense.
it also could work negatively because then Jimbo's like, see,
No,
my stuff works. Look at
no,
this. Look at
no,
this.
no. we are
It could.
past. We are past that.
Hey, it could happen.
No, no, we are way past that. That ship has sailed.
Okay, so what if he goes all off season and doesn't say anything about hiring an offensive coordinator?
No, I mean
Is that
there's no going all off season without doing that. Jimbo
okay?
will be hiring an offensive coordinator, and I don't even know if it's negotiable. I like Jimbo will be hiring an offensive coordinator. I have no
Okay.
doubt about that. The only thing that everybody's gonna have a question on, and everybody's gonna question it until it actually happens, is Jimbo gonna give up play calling to that offensive coordinator? But if you go out and get one of these guys, like if you go get a Garrett Riley or Garrett Riley, or you get a Philip Longo, or if you get a Jeff Grimes, like those guys are play callers. Like you are handing the play calling book over, and I think that's the best Jimbo. That's the best Jimbo
Best
move
scenario.
Jimbo could
Yeah.
make for his career. He'll step back. He'll be the CEO coach, like Saban is, like Jim Harbaugh is now. Jim Harbaugh had to do this 2 years ago after the COVID season where they went 2-4. He gave up play calling to Josh Gaddis. They went to the freaking playoff. They finally beat Ohio State. He was 3-8 versus his rivals before that, and he finally beat Ohio State. He still lost to Michigan State, but whatever. They went to the playoff. I'll take a loss versus one team to go to the playoff. I don't care. Brian Kelly did it, and went 4-8, and then revamped his whole coaching staff, and then went 10-3, and then the next year they were in the playoff. Like, I'm not saying that like next year this offseason you have to go hire an OC and then you have to make the playoff. No, it's not what I'm saying at all. I want a new offensive coordinator, and I want that guy on staff for at least 2 to 3 years, and I want progress next year. I want to make a good bowl game. I want 9 wins probably like next year. I don't think 8 wins does it for Jimbo next year. I just don't. I don't see like a scenario where everybody's happy with 8 wins. And Aggies are not afraid. The Aggie big money guys, they're not afraid to spend stupid money because they gave Jimbo a stupid contract. So
yeah,
there's your evidence. They're not afraid to spend stupid money. So that's my rant. I think Jimbo will have to hire an offensive coordinator, and if he doesn't, I think you'll hemorrhage players. And if he does, I think you have a shot to keep all your players, and then A&M has a shot to be good next year. So,
yep.
If not,
totally
Mike Elko may be your head coach in 2024.
I'm not going to talk about Kansas that much just because there is no game plan. The game plan is win. The game plan is survive. I do not care or try to. I'm not even going to try and predict which side of the ball will be great, because it's either the offense one game and the defense the next game, or backwards. It's never at the same time. Like, our offense has an amazing game, but almost loses because the defense lets all these points at the second half. But then the defense plays lights out and the offense can't do shit. Like, if they could just have a game where they both do well, we'll be cooking.
I mean,
like an Oklahoma type scenario. That was both sides were spot on. So
Oklahoma sucks.
Well, that also helps.
Yeah. Oklahoma also looks like a team that may end up missing a bowl game. at this point. Like, I
Like,
mean, to look back on it, to look in
yeah,
hindsight right now, Oklahoma's not one of your best wins at all.
yeah, no, Kansas State is.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. For sure, Kansas State's your best win.
yeah.
And shoot, Texas Tech may be a better. Oh, well, you didn't beat Tech.
Nope.
Texas Tech may be a better team than Oklahoma, though.
Oh yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Their fans are going to show up.
I know they are. It's gonna be obviously like sold out. Thank the freaking Lord, they fell off the rank train earlier in the season, because imagine if they were like a top 10 team right now, like game day would be there. It'd be they would show the highlights of the last two upsets against Texas over and over all week. It'd be annoying.
If you had a version of SEC Nation for the Big 12, Big 12 Nation would be there. And they would be definitely covering this because, like, they would be showing the Charlie Strong year when Kansas stormed the field. They'd be showing the highlights from last year. Texas would basically have no highlights because they'd just be like, well, of course Texas is supposed to be Kansas. But, like, Kansas' quarterback supposedly coming back.
Right.
I've heard.
Right. Of course he'll come back for Texas.
For Texas. He's got to come back for
he's
Texas.
Got to. His career, but he's going to do it.
Man, and isn't he the one that beat y'all last year?
Probably. I don't know.
I mean, man, it's going to be a fun game to watch because, like, they are going to be motivated to win.
Obviously, yeah.
And Texas
they're having their best season in the last 15 years. And
Texas is motivated to not lose.
Right.
Because, I mean, just like we were talking about earlier with, I didn't even address this earlier, but like, just like we were talking about earlier with Quinn Ewers, and, is this year going to be the year that, he's got to progress so that he doesn't get outshined by like an Arch Manning? Is this year, like the end of the year, going to be, if you go, you're 6-4 right now. If you end up 6-6, is Sark on the hot seat next year?
Yeah. 6-6, yeah.
To be honest, I didn't think Sark would make it to the SEC. I said that when Sark was hired. But
he won't do that. And we will win our bowl game. If we beat Kansas, we'll win our bowl game.
Well, who you play at the end? Baylor? So Baylor's not bad.
I know. That won't be close also. It sucks.
But you could end up, let's say you split them. You end up 7-5. You go to your bowl game. You win your bowl game.
Yeah.
I guess
it could be against freaking like North Carolina State or something.
I don't really put a lot of like stock in bowl games anymore because so many players sit out and
right.
And like if it's a New Year's Six bowl, I put more stock into it because it's like it's a New Year's Six, like it's a huge bowl game. No matter who you have playing for you, like you recruited these guys, this is a huge bowl game. But for like the Texas Bowl and stuff like that, like it's nice if you win. It's a T-shirt in your closet, I guess. I'm an
Gym
Aggie.
shirt.
I'm an Aggie. We're famous for T-shirts. But if you win a Texas Bowl, like that's not going to be the difference in Sark keeping or losing his job or being on the hot seat next year. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think.
So if you go 8-5, but I mean, if you lose, I don't know. Is it really count against you if you lose though?
I don't think so.
Maybe I don't know.
I think just getting to it is
good.
Is the step we wanted to take. So I think that's more important. So, but 6-6.
Let's throw some hypotheticals around.
Here we go.
It's a fun
Here
conversation.
We go. Oh yeah.
Sark finishes this year. We'll call split. Just for shits and giggles, or we can call it 8-4 if you want. Sark finishes 8-4, 7-5. Comes into next year. Is he on the hot seat?
No,
I don't think so.
Unless he does the exact same thing.
I don't think so.
If he does another 7-5 next year, then maybe. But
yeah, I don't think he's on the hot seat going into next year. If he's 7-5 or 8-4, if he's 6-6 for sure.
6-6.
If he loses the next two, he's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
He is playing for his job next year.
Yes. And you'll see some firings and rehirings. Yeah,
replacing of coaches.
Yeah, one last try, and then
Gary Patterson steps up as the defensive coordinator,
right,
and Sark goes and hires an offensive coordinator for some reason. He's the OC. It's kind
that
of
it's gonna be weird.
yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
So anyway, go 7-5, 8-4. Right, he's not in the hot seat going into next year.
Right.
If he goes 8-4, 7-5 again,
yes,
he still has his job.
Yeah, but I would say he's on the hottest of hot seats starting at the year. He better
the year after.
Yeah, he better get like a New Year's Six bowl.
But any decline from what he has this year to next year, he's done.
I would say so
for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well,
as long as he's going up, that's what.
Yeah, as long as you're showing progression. I mean, that's the thing. He came into a situation where his team was pretty sparse. Like, I mean, Texas isn't like y'all aren't the sisters of the poor by any means. You know, like I think even in Sark's first year, y'all were the 11th ranked talent composite. You know,
probably.
And then this year, y'all were still in the top 10 because you had a top 5 class come in, of course.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you as long as you're showing progress and you're still recruiting great classes, it looks like y'all are probably going to be on track for top 5, top 3 class probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason for Sark to really fear. But the thing is, though, is Texas is y'all. The fans are going to be looking for, is this the guy that's going to take us into the SEC? And that's a decision that you'll have to make pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that's a big one. Like, is this the guy that you want taking into your first year in the SEC?
Right.
And as of right now, I would not. Absolutely,
I would. Right now, I'm on that wood. Let's see how that goes after
on
the
next
ledge. 2 games. Yes.
You're on the ledge, and you're not sure if you're going to jump.
No, I'm looking, and the ledges are like 50 feet in front of me. I'm like, let me just walk, just see how far this really is.
Let's see how.
I'm not looking over the ledge yet, but I know where the ledge is. So
I'll tell you what, though,
I can get there if I want to.
The SEC is getting a lot tougher. I mean,
yeah, you got
LSU's.
Vandy has a better season than A&M, so it's tough competition out there.
Damn it.
Okay, wait, hold up. Texas A&M will not lose to UMass, but if say like it's the most craziest game ever, like they get the A&M could not stop fumbling, cannot stop throwing pick sixes, whatever it is, but it's like down to the wire, and like you like get like a last second field goal, game winning field goal blocked or something, and they win by some miracle. It never, like out of 100 games repeated, it would have happened like this one time. Is Jimbo automatically like fired?
I think so, man. Like, I don't think you like this is UMass. This isn't like
right. It should. You're favored by more points than you've ever scored this year.
You're low,
so that's bad. That's a bad team.
Your low exiting this season needs to be a loss to App State. That's what your low needs to be. I can't believe me. If you'd have told me at the beginning of the year, like if you would have told me A&M is 3-7 going into UMass and they lost to App State, I'd be like, you're crazy. Like you're
I would bet my life savings, my house, everything that
wouldn't
wrong.
happen. Yeah,
right.
that would not. I would have been like, you're nuts. Like, there's no way that A&M's 3-7 and lost to UMass, but beat Arkansas.
That's how I lost a bet on Twitter last year, because at like 4-1 heading into the Oklahoma game, some random Aggie messaged me and wanted to make a bet that Texas like would have a losing record. I was like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And then we started losing game after game after game, and I'm like, shit. And like, there's this. I would have bet him a lot of money if he wanted to. But
we need to make a bet next year.
Luckily, it was just to like change my cover photo, but like I would have bet money if he wanted.
We need to make a bet.
That was a crazy bet. It is insane what a season can do. Yeah.
We need to make a bet next year that A&M or Texas has the better season, and one of us has to do something funny or like entertaining at least. Like, I'll go wear UT stuff and take a photo in front of like the the burnt orange tower or something,
Oh, that'd be cool.
or you have to like show up on you have to change your profile photo to you and all Aggie stuff, but not as a baby. You have to do it in your current form, your current age. You can't do it. You can't post a baby photo of you and Aggie stuff because I know you have it.
Yeah, I have lots of them.
But you have to
Okay,
take a
I got
photo.
you. I got you. I
Yeah,
got you. I
we'll
got
come up with some fun stuff.
you. Ugh, we'll see.
No, we'll do it. We'll do it. You got to
Okay,
do it.
fine,
It's fun. It's just
fine,
for
fine,
fun,
fine.
and you only have to do it for like what the end of bowl season. How about that? Like,
Oh, that's fine. That's easy.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'll put my photo as my profile photo if I lose. So we'll just make it entertaining.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm interested. I mean, these like I was saying, the SEC is getting extremely competitive.
Yeah.
You have LSU that all of a sudden is a contender for the playoff somehow with 2 losses.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll make it because just complete chaos has to happen. And now you have Ole Miss, who has Lane Kiffin for right now, who may be on his way to Auburn. If you ask me, I think he's on his way to Auburn because I think they're just going to throw the Brinks truck at him.
Yes.
Because you got to beat Saban somehow.
Right.
And then, so that means Auburn's going to go get a new head coach, possibly. Alabama's not going to go anywhere. Alabama's having a terrible year, but you know damn well that they're probably just going to bounce back. Shoot, after the last time we thought Alabama had a terrible year, they won the national championship. And Devontae Smith like won the Heisman. He was the first wide receiver to win the Heisman in over 20 years.
Classic Bama.
Yeah, right. I mean, like I'm just not going to count them out. Mississippi State doesn't look bad. Like they kick our ass every year. It seems like with Mike Leach. I mean, the SEC, Georgia looks great. Tennessee looks great. I don't know if Tennessee's going to keep on the high that they're on because all these guys are going to go to the NFL. I don't know if Tennessee's going to keep on the high that they're on right now. Kentucky, they look okay until they lost to Vanderbilt this weekend.
Man.
Florida's on the up and up. They just stole a recruit from Miami. Apparently, he's getting $11 million for 4 years. That's rumor. I don't have a pay stub. But like the SEC is exploding. And now you got Oklahoma coming in. I guess I don't think Brent Venables will be around for them to join the SEC, but that's a big question for. I don't even know if Jimbo is going to be around for A&M by the time y'all get in either. But that'll be an interesting development for Texas. Like, has Sark developed enough by the time 2025 rolls around? Because that's only 2 years away. To be the guy that they want to take in. That'll be a really interesting question.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't like it. I'd rather be in the SEC sooner, but I guess we can just all confirm that they're definitely staying in the Big 12 until 2025.
Yeah, I mean, they said that at the Big 12 meeting like a month or two back, that Texas and Oklahoma approached the commissioner and told them that they're staying till 2025. I don't know if that's ironclad or anything, but as far as we know.
Yeah. But I made like a mock Big 12 schedule for next year where it's like where you play 3 non-conference, 9 conference, and then you also have to play. We have to play every team in the conference in 2 years. And it was really hard to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a lot of fun though, playing like 4 new teams in 2 years. You know,
I mean, shoot, having
that's interesting.
The Big 12 is going to, in my opinion, the Big 12 is better at the new Big 12 is going to be better than the current Pac-12.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're better than the ACC. That's kind of hard to like make a judgment on. Maybe. I mean, Cincinnati looked great last year. They were the first G5 team to ever make the playoff. Then you have UCF, who claimed a national championship a couple years back. Houston is hit or miss. I thought this year Houston was going to be like the best G5 school.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree.
So they could always bounce back up, I guess. they always have that capability too. I think Houston joining the Big 12 is a huge development for them. They're going to get a lot more recruits.
A lot more, yeah.
And then who am I missing? Oh, BYU.
BYU is
BYU plays football.
well, not only that, but just athletic program wise,
Mm-hmm.
they're always really good. I put them in last year's Big 12 like uh, all sport counts of like finishes and stuff, and they were, besides Texas and Oklahoma, they were very clear winners, like athletic program wise,
Yeah,
better than
swimming, track,
yeah everything.
uh, basketball. I do think they generally have a decent basketball team.
Yeah,
Um, I, those are great additions to the Big
yeah,
12, and with Texas and Oklahoma currently in and staying in for at least the next 2 years, what we think. Uh, I mean, y'all have a. It's going to be a hell of a year for the Big 12 next year.
yeah. I think it'll be fun to watch for sure.
Well, I really don't have anything for basketball. Basketball season's still just getting rolling. So, you got anything, Kyle?
Well, Gonzaga and Texas are either just tipped off or about to tip off. I'm not sure.
Well, hell yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if I'm happy or sad next episode. So
All right. Well,
hang in there.
Yeah, we'll get to basketball in the next episode. A&M's in Myrtle Beach playing in a basketball tournament there against Murray State and a bunch of other teams. So I'll get to that on the next episode. But that's all I got.
Yep, me too.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, share, subscribe, of course. And y'all have a good weekend. Gig 'em.
Okay.
See y'all later.